Cole will stay in, but Maddox is out. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our warm up. So one of the things that I was saying to my person yesterday, who was complaining to me about this sciatica, is that I said, I guarantee, she said, my husband and I, we walk, and they're from New York. And she said, we walk, we really walk. We spend an hour and a half. We walk every day. And that's very true. I tend to find my New Yorkers are really good. People that live in the city really are typically good walkers, right? Okay, we're going to round. But what I tend to find is the next thing I said to them is this: you're probably not doing a good warm up. Round. Go ahead, do this one to the side. And I know for a fact, if you live in the city, you're walking on pavement. Okay, which, the same here. But the big thing is you can walk on pavement. We all have these great fancy sneakers and tennis shoes that we wear. But the thing is, if you're walking on pavement, here we go, hands here and rotate, that it's not very forgiving. You don't feel, that's not soft. You're hitting this hard surface every time you lay your foot down. So, and that's all fine, but your muscles like harden up to that. They harden to the surface that they touch. If it's a soft surface, they would be softer, harder, so there's no give in the surface. So you have to not only warm up, but you can almost take these warm up exercises over the head, and you can do them again slower at the end of your class, like we do, as a cool down or a stretch, right? When you do this, everybody, I'm going to really make sure make sure that elbow pushes straight. You should see a nice line between your pinky all the way to your hip. Take a nice deep breath. So, and they apps, they said for sure they weren't stretching, but they actually didn't understand what that's my sister calling me, what a warm up is, and most people don't. So let's reach side to side, side, side to side, right? Nice full deep breaths. Good. And then swing. Now, would I do a warm up for my upper body if I was just going out walking? Yes, I would, because you want to encourage the blood flow through all your muscles, because all of your muscles will take you through the action of walking. Okay? And it's those muscles that get stiff and tight, and then they start not to function properly. Okay, like take those arms and swing them up behind, lift up through your belly. And so it's those muscles that get stiff and tight, and then you compensate, and now the motor is being thrown off. Your timing of your motor is going to be off. Timing of your body is off. Up, and then swing it in front. Let those legs pivot. And then you have all this compensation going on, and things just aren't going to work right. And then eventually, you get somebody saying, I have a headache, or I have low back pain, or now the other thing that's part of that would be then if I had a little accident, like I might have squeeze those shoulders up again. I might have a bad hip because I took a good fall walking out my front door when it was icy. Squeeze down. Or I had a fender bender, up, down. Anything. I was out hiking and I slipped on some leaves and, I fell. And you may not feel it right then and there. The other thing that's part of that, let's go ahead and march our legs, would be occupational or hobby type things that you do a lot of. So when I walk into people's homes, you know, people's homes that they're selling, right? And I see something like I see somebody with a knitting machine, right, Judy? My first thing that comes to mind is how many hours do they spend here and do they take a break? Or if I see a laptop with a big screen, people sitting there, how much time do they take a break? And all these things will build trigger points if you don't take a break. Go ahead, let those arms go. Now take the knee and lift. So when we lift the knee up, okay, when we lift the knee up, we're stretching the buttocks. You will also lift the knee up when you're stepping up and down stairs in your house. And I have so many people that say to me, I'm moving into a house. I want to get rid of the stairs. And I say, no, don't get rid of your stairs. And then cross. It's a built-in exercise program. It's built in, you know. My 92-year-old that I love has 2 total knee replacements, and he has a master bedroom on the 1st floor, but he uses that 2nd floor. And all he really did to help, which I thought was really good, cross down low, reach your toe. We're doing crossovers. Is he just put 2 handrails up the staircase just to help him create more stability. And so if you do have a hip or knee replacement, you know, that might be the thing, because you don't want the fear. Fear tightens up muscles. Go ahead and cross behind, cross and reach. Let those arms go. Let that upper back get a nice lengthening stretch. Now take your arm while you're crossing, reach it over your head. Take a nice deep breath. Great. That's it. That's it. Okay, let's take our leg and reach straight back and lift. Same arm, same leg. Keep your chin up. Up, 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 up. And then take the heel to the bottom. Get our quad going. We can do this for stretching our quad, or we can sit and stand. Sit, throw those arms up. We're going to do some squats today. So get them, feel your legs. Let them feel what it's going to feel like. Does everything feel good around your knee? You know, these are all the things you want to check. And then spread those legs. And we thigh shift side to side. Nice full deep breath. And now take your elbow to your opposite knee, right? So reiterating all these things and why we do them will help and keep you encouraged about the things you're doing. Okay, it is so important. I can tell you hands down, anybody that I see, come on up, take a nice deep breath, take a sip of water. Anybody that I know that is aging beautifully has some type of exercise in their life. That's hands down. So, you know, exercise is not something that we necessarily want to do. We know it makes us feel good, but it's also something we have to do. Okay, have to do. God, I am really the preacher today. But it's important. And you guys, this is my core group, right? You guys are the ones. You understand how you feel. And I will add in the one thing. We're going to go down and do roll downs. So we're going to the floor. We're doing a straight legged. So you all are the one that know this, is not only definitely for my physical, I want to be strong my whole life and be as independent and as I can. And being strong and fit will give that to us. But the other thing is, let's not forget the mental part of it. Okay. So, you read all these studies about the gut and how the brain functions right along with the gut. Well, exercise is going to help move the gut, but also exercise, we've heard for years about how exercise creates endorphins. Endorphins are that happy drug for our brains and our nervous system, right? You get somebody moving that hasn't moved in a while, and guaranteed you will see them smile. You will see the pain come out of their face, because everybody needs, even if it's a little bit, I don't care how old you are, even if you have a little kid that's hyperactive or creating any, behavior things, get them out on the playground, right? Same thing with our dogs, for crying out loud. Okay, so that's our roll downs. Now we're going to hop up. You can take a sip of water. Look at the teenagers that are participating in sports. Healthy minds, healthy bodies. Okay, so our legs are going to be, you can take your lighter set of weights or regular set, whatever you're feeling. I'm just going to start with my lighter set. I'm going to put the weights right on my shoulders, kind of hold them a little bit, right here. I'm going to feel my feet, my whole foot on the mat. I'm going to lift my belly up. I'm going to pull my bottom underneath, and then I'm going to sit, and I'm going to come up and tighten my buttocks. As I look out my windows and see the turkeys all the way across the field. By the way, I had a fox come into my chicken coop, and I always get a fox this time of the year. I think because they're building their dens, but she took 3. She was so gluttonous.
Wow.
3. Oh, no. And then I had a hawk come down and take another one. It was like a bad week in my house. Right? So we're going to go up and down. Each time we do this, we want to check and make sure we're lifting up through the top of our head, feeling what our knees feel like. Nice full deep breath. Hey, and if any of you feel like one leg is really being unusual, stick the block between your legs, and that'll help even out your squat. All right, 4 more. Nice full deep breaths. 3. Feel your buttocks engage. 2. And then 1. Perfect. Go right down to the ground. Keeping your water close by for sips. So again, going up and down from the ground is a great exercise. It's a pain in the butt, but you will find if you stop doing it, then you'll lose the ability to pop up and down. Okay, so I'm going to do a bent knee. I'm going to stick my blocks between my knees, my hands forward, and I'm going to tuck and roll. So really all I'm doing with this workout, and I've kept it pretty similar over the months, is that I'm incorporating our Kraus-Weber correctives, because I know in any other class you're doing, you might be doing similar abdominal exercises, but you're not doing the specific series to really get all your key posture muscles. And I'm giving it to you kind of baseline, so that if you're doing these, when you go to the other exercise classes and they're giving you a variation on core strengtheners, you should be able to do them. And if you can't, you can always revert to these exercises. Okay, let's do 5 more. And then in between our correctives, what I'm doing is a strengthening exercise, trying to incorporate, you know, a whole fitness program. Okay, one more. Beautiful. Okay, put that block down. Go ahead and stand up. You can stick with your heavier or your light weights. Little water. Okay, so this exercise is going to be a combination, upper and lower. We already did a squat. Again, I said, if you have an issue and you feel one knee is a little off, put the block in between and squeeze it. And what that'll do is it'll help your legs work more evenly, okay? Because you have to create that squeeze. Okay, but we're gonna take our weights this time. And so we're doing a combination of, we're going to squat, and then we're gonna push the ceiling off the house, okay? But when you do that, the typical is we arch. I want you to really pull your belly in and tighten your butt. And then you come down and push down. Shoulder press is, shoulders for me is one of those exercises. Again, if we don't practice it, how many times a day are you actually lifting your arms over your head with weight and, you know, getting that type of movement? And I can tell you, like knees, which we're strengthening just by doing a squat, like knees, your shoulder joint, if they don't go through that range of motion, they get weak, tight, sore, all that stuff. Okay, nice full deep breaths. Squeeze that butt. The block is great too. It reminds you to squeeze your butt, lift your belly. Okay, 5 more. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, take your little sip, put your weights down. Next exercise is Psoas. I was in Portland, Maine this week. That was fun. What a fun town. And then I went up to South Bristol. My sisters got an Airbnb there, which is really nice. It's right on the water. Okay, so when we pull the knees in, I let my head go down and I tuck my chin. And I tuck my chin because if you tip your head back, you'll notice that your abdominals don't want to engage as easy, okay? So tuck that head a little. It helps to engage the spine. Now I'm going to pull them in, pull my tummy in. I'm going to keep my tummy in, and as I extend, I want my back flat. I can lift my head. My hands are not under my butt. And then when I come in, I can put my head down, but try and keep it tucked. Extend. In. Let's do nice full deep breaths. The challenge here is you can always go lower as long as you keep the back flat. Okay, so I'm going to push for like that inch above the ground. And this part of your back has to stay flat. Okay. 7, 6, 5. If you notice your back is starting to lift, then you just lift your legs a little. 3, 2, and 1. Great. Okay. So then we're going to stand up. We don't need weights for this one. You may want a little sip of water. Okay. So we want to try and finish and get nice and hydrated as part of our class. Watch those people, watch your friends in your life. People aren't drinking enough. And, you know, somebody said to me, oh, it was my brother. He said, you know, Claire, you can drink too much. I said, you know, I tell people, try and get 4 of these in a day. What is this? This is 2 cups or 18 ounces. Okay. Try and get 4 of those in a day. You know, for most people, that's more than they're drinking. So you're going to feel better. Okay. I'm going to stand at the end of my mat. Okay, my legs can be spread a little. I want to try and do what I call a camel. And a camel basically means I'm going to try and keep my legs straight, but I may need to bend them. Okay, this is also another, when we do a walkout, it's also another total body workout. Now, I'm going to be adding an abdominal or a core strengthener because when I walk out, I want to hold it to take a picture and I really want to be strong through the core. Okay, so I raise my hands to the ceiling, I bend at the waist and I walk 2, 3, hands right under the shoulders, hold it, and then walk and try and keep your knees straight. Arrête. Go ahead. And let's go to 12. 1, long enough to take a picture. If you feel you can't do these, we can always pop down and do sit-ups. Okay. 3. Make sure your belly's pulled in, your butt's tight. Okay. There's 6. Tight. Push back through your heels. Okay. 8. Right. 9. Right. 10. That one I should have gone a little straighter. Come on, make it really good. So really push the ground away. Get that body tight. Push through your heels. One more really good one, everybody. And up. Okay, great. Okay, we go back down to the mat. You can take a little sip. We've been working on this one. So when we talk about core, a lot of people forget that core is actually your back as well as your front. I bet if you stop people on the street and you said core, they say here. Rarely would you find the person that would say here, here, and here. Okay? So what we're going to work on right now with our Superman exercise is the back part, the posterior. All right? Now, we've been doing this a couple ways. For all of you that I know, if I call you my core group and you're always here, we're going to try and lift our arms and legs and our head and chest off the ground. And the whole time while we're counting to 12 and moving our arms, we're going to try and keep it off. But you can also go up and down, up and down. So I'm going to rest my head on my hands. I'm going to tighten my butt and pull my belly in. Okay. Then I'm going to lift and put my hands out front, lift my legs and take my hand. 1. Okay. 2. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to try and keep lifting my shoulders. My shoulders want to round, and I don't want to do that. Okay. 5. Now I'm going to switch this up a little bit. Let's swim underwater. Okay. And really lift up, get those legs up. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Make it good. And then go down. Come to your hands and knees. Give it a little push, pull your belly in. Sink down. So this exercise here, sinking with the head up and the chest down, that's going to stretch our abdominals. If we round, this is going to get our posterior back and abdominals. And down and up. Okay, last strengthening exercise. It's an exercise that we know, but since we've been doing a squat, this exercise will be a wide-legged, and what we'll do is squat. You'll do this with weights. You'll pivot, lunge, squat, down, okay. So I'm going to take my weights. I'm going to leave my weights at my hips. Chest is up tall. You can't see my chest, but know that my shoulder blades are almost slightly pinched. Okay, my legs are wide. My heels are turned in a little bit and my toes out. So I'm going to squat, come up, pivot, and that back leg, if you can see my back foot, I'm up. And then when I go down, I want to make sure this knee stays over the heel. Come up, squat, down. Okay, I'm still sticking with I like my lighter weights for the first set because I want to make sure my body, who I love dearly and the most, and then if I love my body dearly and the most first, then I can love everybody else second, okay? So don't put yourself second, put yourself first. I want to make sure the body that I know and love the most is with me today, right? And I'm taking care of it. And I'm listening to what it's telling me, okay? I'm listening. And so if it's telling me, Claire, that lunge is a little hard, then I'm going to say, well, let me back up a little bit. Let me try it a little, but maybe I don't go as intensely. Or maybe I have a chair close by. So when I do that lunge, I can place my hand and have the confidence of going down and building that muscle, giving it a little muscle memory, okay? Koliana is back. Okay, let's do 4 more. That means both sides. 1, squat. 2, squat. 3, squat. Okay, that's it. Let's finish this one. Whoops, sliding all over. And down. Good. Okay, so that was the set. Now, I want to go through that whole set. Our body knows what to do, right? So I want to go through the whole set again. I'm going to add my heavier weights, even to the abdominal exercises that I can. And so I'm going to go down. I'm going to take my block, because I really want to know that if I'm adding a weight, that my abdominals are engaged. when I squeeze the block, you will immediately notice if you're squeezing with those inner thighs that your lower abdominals engage. Okay. I'm just going to hug that. My chest, I'm going to sit up tall. I'm going to squeeze the block. I'm going to tuck and roll. Now, to get up, some of us can get up by hugging. Some of us will need to take that weight, move it forward, and you will literally find it will help you to get up because it's 5 pounds forward or whatever you're carrying. So hug it and roll, forward, up, or hug it and roll and hug it. Make sure when you're hugging to get up, that chin is tucked as well. Because if you have your head back, it's going to straighten out your spine, but you want the abdominals to kind of lift you, not the neck. Okay. Right. And I'm going to feel my spine, make sure that I'm rolling and I'm not compensating. If you start to compensate, just take that weight, put it to the side, and go do the exercise that you know and done before. 3 more. 2. Let's do one really good one. And up. Good. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and stand up. This will be a basic exercise with your heavier weights, if you can, you know. I'd love you to push yourself. It makes you stronger, but I'm not going to push myself if my body's not ready. Again, if you want to use the block, go ahead and squeeze it. I'm going to, as soon as I put that block between my thighs, man, I can feel my butt tightening. You want to squeeze it. You want your belly pulled in. I'm going to take these weights, my weights, and I'm putting them on my shoulders. Okay? If I can. All right? If you're worried about balance, keep them down. And I am going to sit and come up, and I'm going to sit properly into a chair. So that means I've got to keep my head up, right? And then when you come all the way up, I want you to squeeze the block, squeeze your butt. Okay? 5. Breathe. Nice full deep breaths. Good. We can go to 15. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. You know, you do those 3 extra and it really, you can feel them. Okay, let's put the weights and the block down. Let's go to the ground. Okay. You get a little sip if you need it. Okay. I shouldn't say if you need it. You should get a sip. And then you take the sip and you go, oh, I guess I needed that. So water's always one of those things like, I'm not thirsty. Then you start drinking, you're like, oh, I guess I was more thirsty than I thought. So I'm going to squeeze the block again between my thighs. Sometimes if you squeeze it behind the knees, I feel if you move it up a little bit, you have to squeeze more, which definitely engages the lower abs. I'm going to take my block, I'm going to hug it. I'm going to tuck and roll. Let's try and do 15. Okay. Again, when we do a bent knee sit-up, we are not using, one of our abdominals is kind of dropped out. And so we're really using that rectus abdominis, which is the muscle that goes from your pubic bone to your rib cage. And that's really working that. Okay. Rectus. Right. if you feel, you know, your form is really getting junky, then you can first take the weight and try moving it forward, because for me, the roll down is first most important. The get up is second. So, and then if the whole thing's just falling apart, put the weight to the side. Okay, 3 more. 2 more. Beautiful. And 1. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get up. The next exercise that we're going to do is going to be a squat shoulder press. Okay, squat shoulder press. So first time I did it, you know, I was fine with the weight that I chose, but this time, you know, I have a light sweat. My body feels good and warm. So I'm going to take my heavier weights. Absolutely no reason why you shouldn't, unless you know, you've heard me always say, you don't have to use the weights at all. Just go through the range of motion. So those weights will come to the shoulders. I'm going to squeeze my block because I have a heavier weight now. I want to make sure my core is really working with me. And this isn't cheating. This is just kind of helping you, because your brain's going to be focused on pushing a heavier weight. So, you know, have that little block there to just remind you to squeeze the butt tight, use the abdominals. So I sit and I press to the ceiling, and I sit and I press. Some people on this are tight in the calves, right? So what I have done other times, I'll take my other little weights and I will stick them under my heels. It's kind of like putting a little high heel on your shoe, and then that'll help so you can go down a little deeper. Or you take a little block, like a thin piece of wood block, 2x4, right? Okay, let's do 7, 6, 5, breathe, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's go down to the ground. Now the second set of psoas, spine down stretch, or psoas strengthener with the spine down, it's a spine down, lengthening the legs. You might want to try the block, because what the block will do, again, when you're coming in, let's do this together. When you're lying down, okay, by the way, exercises are so much better if they're done efficiently. So it's worth taking the time to get them set up. I have my block. It's going between my thighs. Okay. I am lying down. My chin is tucked and I'm squeezing the block. And I'm also pulling my knees back to make sure my back's nice and flat. Okay. Then I'm going to extend and squeeze. And then I'm going to come in, put my head down, extend and squeeze. And I'm pointing my toes. Okay. Extend and squeeze, head down, squeeze. Make sure your back is flat. Now, squeeze and make those legs active, and you will find your whole body is like this long board. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we can go to 15, 11, Make sure that back is flat. If it's not, legs can go a little higher. 13, 14. Ah, real good here. And in. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So from the psoas, we now go up. We won't use our weights for this one. Okay. We're doing a walkout to a plank. Okay. We've done this one, but what I want you to do at the end of it, okay, is you're going to hands up, squat, come up, walk out, plank, walk back, hands up, squat, up, okay? And let's try and do 12 at least, okay? Let's go ahead. So it's squat, up, walk out. Remember, can you keep your legs straight? Up, squat. Now, when I do that squat, I want you to do it like a chair pose in yoga. A move that I find people have a difficult time with, so practice it in your other classes. You know, practice is perfect. You might even want to move those legs a little closer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The other thing is on a walkout, you're also practicing inversion. Inversion really just means your blood's going to your head. And I don't know about you, but my head houses my brain, and my brain needs good blood flow, good lymphatic circulation in order for those nerves to be healthy. That main nerve center, your brain, to be healthy. We got to get blood up there, right? Let's do three more really good ones. We're almost at the end of our workouts. We have two more really good exercises after this. Up, one more. And then up. Yay. Okay. Beautiful. Let's go down to the mat, take a sip of water. Now, when I did Superman last time, we switched it up, right? We did swimming underwater. And the swimming underwater, what it's going to do is get your upper back muscles. Like, just try that move a couple of times while you're just sitting here. And, you know, you'll feel, if you reach up and you pull them back, you're going to feel your upper back, like more muscles kick in. So we're going to be doing like a nice upper back exercise. I'm going to add one thing. Okay. The one thing is this: while you're swimming with your arms, can you flutter kick your feet with the legs off the ground? So you're going to do this little flutter kick as though you are swimming in a pool. Now, so we're going to do that to the count of 15. Okay. If you can't, remember, you can lift your legs and your arms kind of individually until you build up. But we've been building up for a couple weeks now. I got to move over a little so I have nice arm reach. Okay, so I'm going down. I'm going to get my legs together and point my toes, ready for a flutter kick. And I'm going to lift, and I'm going to swim and flutter kick. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift that chest up. 6, don't forget to breathe. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, breathe, 13, 14, flutter kick, and 15. Ah, that was nice to add the flutter kick. Okay. Then we come up on our hands and knees. Go ahead and take that little, stretch. Because we've just worked those large muscles. Our low back right here. Okay. These muscles are the top of our butt. They are actually our low back as well. Okay. So do a couple cat backs. Okay. Camel, cat and camel. Then come on up. I will go to my heavier weight. So we're going to do the squat, pivot, turn. You don't have an opportunity to use the block here because you're going to be in a wide. Oh, actually, you do. What you could do with the block, okay, is, and even better if you had 2 blocks, but when I'm here, right, and I pivot, actually, yeah, 1 block. So when I go down, maybe see if you can get that back knee to set down, and then you'll know how deep you're going. And then up, and then pivot, up. Okay, so we need to squat in the middle. I'm gonna grab my weights, all right? Let's do 12. That means both legs have to do 12. That means we're gonna do a bunch more squats. So it's squat and pivot and squat and pivot. And that's 1 squat. Chest up nice and tall. Make sure I'm just letting my weights hang. Pivot. And the thing about a pivot, it's also a balancing move because you need to pivot both of your feet in the direction to the wall, and then you have to pivot them back. Okay, I'm going to scoot my block out because I can go a little deeper and the block is stopping me. Okay, but for a lot of us, the block gives us a focal point. Make sure you're pivoting both feet. Don't get lazy. Take your time. Right? And then you're not seeing my upper body, but what I'm doing every time I come up is slightly squeezing my shoulder blades back. Get them back, right? I think we're good for 4 more. Oh, looks like April showers today. It will bring me flowers, literally. And down. 2 full sets left. Up, down, right. Pivot. Don't get sloppy on your pivoting. Okay. 1 more, good one. Finish it. Okay. And there. Beautiful. Okay. Yay. We're done for the day. Okay, now we're going to do a little stretch. Okay. Take your legs. Okay. Know what? Some men are walking in my backyard. I don't know who they are. Okay. Make sure I'm doing like a little cross. And I've got 1 foot in front, 1 tucked under. Okay. Little campfire sit. I'm going to sit up tall. I'm going to grab hold of my legs. I'm going to sit up tall, lift my belly in, and then I'm going to, there goes Cole. She's on it. And then dropping But look at, I don't want to round my back. I want to try and go with a flat back and reach your hands, not way out because it will make you round. I want you to go with a flat back, and I want you to feel your buttocks. Okay, so we have these large buttocks muscles. You could do this one sitting in a chair, but I figured since I had you all on the ground. Okay, so you're getting a nice little stretch. You should feel that down your buttocks. This would be a stretch I would give to my little sciatic friend. Now, I'm going to reach the hands and I'm going to drop the head. By dropping the head, you're probably going to feel the stretch a little bit more into the back. Your back and butt are very related. And interesting, my sister, who is here for a couple weeks, she should be in this class this morning. Today is her 70th birthday. Walk your hands over to the foot that's in front, right? And then try and reach in that direction. You're going to feel that deep to the opposite low back. So I sent her for a few massages for her birthday because she had been complaining about her shoulder endlessly, right? Okay, and then come on up and switch your legs. So this is what happened. She goes, she gets worked on. It was a myotherapy treatment. And your other foot's now in front. And she said, she came over, I called her after the massage, and she said, the strangest thing happened, Claire. And I said, what was that? I said, you know, how did the massage go? She said, it was so strange. When she started working on my ankle, I felt my shoulder relax. And I said, well, there you go. It sounds like Bonnie Pruden teaching a workshop. Reach those hands forward, drop your head. You know, that ankle could be connected to the shoulder. It's like I talked to you at the beginning in class about, you know, if you're starting to compensate with muscles, it can throw the whole motor off. Reach, now walk your hands over the toes. And so if you have a bad shoulder, I've found people's jaw pain in their hips. I mean, your body is so interconnected that the best thing you can do in your life is really try and understand it and take care of it the best that you can. Okay, so we're reaching over that toe. We're I give it that nice little pulsing stretch. I want to feel my back muscles kind of give in. Okay, nice, ballistic, gentle bounce. Okay, great. Now, what I would also like to do is a lot of times when we focus, somebody says to me sciatic, we'll focus the stretch forward and try and stretch that. But a lot of times people don't focus on what's happening in the front. Now, this was my golfer the other day that says, you know, I have back pain, but I never have it when I swing a club. And I looked at his posture and he was slightly tipped, literally bent forward. So if you have your block, we're going to use it again. This is one of my favorite stretches. It's small but mighty. I take the block and I stick it under my butt. You can also do this with a pillow, a rolled up towel. I'm then going to take my legs and I'm going to let them drop forward. Okay, so you have to kind of find that sweet spot. Then I'm going to take my arms and I'm going to reach them way over my head. So I literally feel a stretch through my abdominals. I want to reach. Now my abdominals can be strong enough to bend me forward. And the thing is, we want them strong, but we also want them to be flexible. So by doing a stretch like this where we reach now, reach one leg slightly further than the other. So you're tipping your hips. One goes further, one goes further. Okay, you're reaching the heel one further than the other. And then you're going to take one knee, and while the other leg, the heel is planted to the ground, you're going to literally pulse that knee into your chest, and the other heel is going to want to pop off the ground, and you're going to let it, but then you're going to consciously press it back down to the ground. So literally, it's like a little teeter-totter where you and your friend are trying to bounce each other. And then you're going to try the other side. You're going to really reach that leg strong, get down on your heel, and you're going to really bounce that into the chest. Take a nice deep breath, okay? Okay, and then you're going to put your feet on the ground, take the block out, put one leg down straight, take the other one, you're going to put your hand across the knee, and you're going to pull it all the way and see if you can get it down to the floor. While you look at the ceiling and get your other arm that is not working, try and get the whole back of the arm all the way up to the chest, flat on the ground, and you will feel, some of you will feel a big stretch in the arm, chest, shoulder. Some of you will feel it in your low back, and some of you will feel it right into your butt. Just depends on where your tightness is. Take a nice deep breath, tuck your chin a little bit, extend long, and then release it. And let's go ahead and do the other leg. So you're literally pulling it over. You're looking at the ceiling, your other arm goes up tall. You try and get the back of the hand flat on the ground, right? You breathe. And again, you either feel that in the leg, low back. Breathe right into where you feel the tightness. And take a couple nice deep cleansing breaths. Cleansing breaths, like expand that bubble of air in your body and push that muscle that's tight from the inside out. Bring it some nice oxygen and release. And then just lie on the floor, wiggle your legs, wiggle your hips, your shoulders, let your head kind of turn side to side, shake it all out, take a nice deep breath, arms raised over the head. Hold it, and now try and reach your arms higher and suck in more air. And then release it. So let's try that again. So you breathe in, okay? You hold that breath, and then try and reach your hands further and suck in more air. Hold it. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release it. Turn to your side. Slowly roll yourself up. Take a big gulp of water. Okay, make sure you're finishing up your 2 cups or your 6, 8, what did I say, 16 ounces, 18 ounces. And we are cooked. I have a fun day. I have a Zoom meeting typically on Thursdays, and then I have a house inspection. House inspections are really fun. They tell you everything about your house that's wrong, that's not working. And they're really fun, actually. I love to get a good inspector. I learned so much about my house and about construction and about how you can tell the age of the house by different kinds of things in the construction. And I learn about that I should be maintaining my furnace yearly, and that I should change the filters in my water tanks, and I should look for moisture in my basement, and I should check my attic occasionally and make sure there's no wet and leaking through my roof, and make sure my gutters are cleaned out, all these little fun things. So I have to actually, I would love an inspector to give a group of people a house tour and just show them what they look for. So it really is interesting and very educational.
Thank you.
Great to see you all.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Claire.
Claire.
Bye-bye,
Have a
Claire.
super
Thank you.
day,
Thanks,
and
everybody.
I will see you in the next class.
Claire,
Yes.
I'm away for the next week or 2.
Okay. We will miss you, but I know you'll be out there doing all your warm-ups.
Every one of them, yes.
Every one of them. And you'll be active and all that fun stuff, but we'll miss you. Always do.
And I have a question when everybody has gone, if you have 1 minute.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, Gary. Say hi to Jody for us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So in my left buttocks, and it's
Yes.